towns of Fall River and New Bedford, Massachusetts are well known for their Portuguese communities, their culture, and their food. And one great dish is Shrimp Mozambique. Now it's got a lot of spice, but luckily for us, Morgan's here and she's brought the heat, right?
Yes, this dish is all about the heat. So traditionally, Shrimp Mozambique is made with this sauce called piri piri sauce, which is this really fruity, bright pepper sauce. The problem is you can't find this at a regular grocery store. So you either have to specially mail order it or go to a specialty grocery store. So we played around with a lot of different substitutes and found a great sub in Frank's Red Hot.
Interesting. That was the closest thing.
Yes. So I'm going to show you how to build this sauce that kind of mimics the piri piri sauce. I have 2 tablespoons of Frank's. So Frank's is made with cayenne chili peppers. Piri piri is made with bird's eye chili peppers, which have a little more flavor. So I'm going to add some things to bump it up a little bit. 2 tablespoons of olive oil, a tablespoon of chopped fresh parsley, brighten it up a little bit. I have 2 teaspoons of paprika, just give it a little earthiness and a little more richness. 2 chopped garlic cloves here, and it's all going to get blended. Just throw them in there, and a ½ teaspoon of pepper. I also have a 1/4 of a slice of hearty white sandwich bread. So this is actually going to add a little sweetness and a little body to the sauce. It also gives you a little bit of creaminess without actually adding cream. And then since you have bread in here, in order to get it to blend, I'm going to add some water. This is 2 tablespoons of water. If you need to, you can add a little more water. Just add it a tablespoon at a time until it actually blends nicely.
Okay.
So now I'm going to blend this for 2 minutes until it's nice and smooth, and it'll actually look like a nice red pepper sauce. All right, let's see where we're at. I know. See,
that smells so good.
You can see it's nice and smooth. It already smells really good. So we're gonna set this aside and move on to another important part, the shrimp. I have 2 pounds of extra large shrimp here, which means there's 21 to 25 a pound. These are untreated shrimp, which means if you look at the ingredient list, all it should say is shrimp.
Shrimp.
No
That's
salt, no sodium tripolyphosphate. Nothing you can't read, just
Good.
shrimp. So I'm gonna prep 2 over here. These are shell-on shrimp, and you weigh them with the shell, so your 2 pounds should be with the shell. And I have these little shrimp shears over here that make it really easy to just go in there and snip off the shell.
Now these are super handy because they also open up the back, so if the shrimp need to be cleaned or deveined.
Yeah, so this one has some gunk in there, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get that out with a paring knife. And now I'm gonna season them. So I have a 1/4 teaspoon pepper and a ½ teaspoon salt. And if all you can find is those treated shrimp, the dish will still be good. You can just skip adding the salt.
Okay.
I think that non-treated shrimp have a better texture. When they're treated, they can actually be a little bouncy.
I agree. Yep. A little too buoyant.
Okay, and now that these are well covered, I'm just gonna wash my hands and then it's time to cook.
Sounds great.
I have a tablespoon of olive oil that I'm heating over medium heat. So we're gonna build a little more base to that sauce.
Okay.
So I have an onion over here. I'm just looking for a ½ cup of finely chopped onion, which is about half of a regular size onion. I always like to go in parallel to the board with my knife, and then I go in perpendicular.
I like that you kept the root attached, so it's holding it all together too.
Oh yeah, makes it a lot easier. And then I turn the onion and go the other way. And you get nice, evenly cut onion. I'm only looking for about ½ cup. So you can see I have a non-stick skillet. We really didn't want any browning here. We just wanted to get these onions nice and soft, and same with the shrimp. We never actually really want them to brown, so a non-stick skillet was really nice for us here. I also have a ½ teaspoon of table salt that I'm gonna add. I always like to season food as I go, so we have a little salt on the shrimp, a little salt in with the onion. I'm just gonna cook these, like I said, till they're nice and soft. It'll take about 5 minutes.
Okay.
I also have 3 garlic cloves. It's not first date sort of food. It's gonna be garlicky. Your breast's not gonna smell great, but it's gonna be very worth it.
You just have to make sure the other person's eating the same thing.
Yeah,
Then you're all
exactly.
set.
So I'm gonna slice these thinly. Garlic's a little more mild when you slice it thinly, so it's really nice to do this. Also, it looks really pretty. So you can see the onions are nice and soft. They're not yet dark and roasty at all.
Okay.
And I'm gonna add these garlic cloves. With the garlic, you're not really looking for any color either. You just wanna start softening it a little bit, mellow out the flavor just a little bit. It'll only take about 1 minute. Okay, and now I'm gonna add a cup of dry white wine. When you're doing this, you wanna use a wine that's a little more mild. So nothing like a Chardonnay that's too oaky, or a Moscato, which can be really sweet. You want something like a Pinot Grigio or a Sauvignon Blanc or something pretty mild. So I wanna bring it up to a boil and then cook it till it reduces by half, which will take about 4 minutes. That just takes away some of the booziness from wine. I really like drinking wine regularly, but not in my food, so it takes away some of the sharpness. You can see how the wine's cooked down by half, And now it's time to add the shrimp. So we've stayed over medium heat this whole time. It's very gentle. It's a really nice way to cook shrimp because they're just gonna poach. So it'll really help us prevent overcooking the shrimp.
Nobody wants any rubbery shrimp.
Exactly. So I'm gonna add these shrimp. We're gonna continue to cook these over medium heat. And I'm just gonna cook them until they're opaque, which will take about 4 minutes. You don't really want them to start curling under or anything like that because that means they're getting a little overcooked.
Okay.
And you'll see the shrimp will actually release a little bit of liquid, so it'll get a little more saucy as it cooks.
It smells so good.
I know, it smells shrimpy and garlicky. And you can see how these shrimp are almost totally cooked. We have just another minute or so of cooking to go.
And they did curl a little bit, but they're not super tight.
Exactly what we're looking for. So it's time to add back that really flavorful piri-piri sauce from earlier. So this is all that garlic, parsley, paprika, oil, and of course that Frank's.
Some serious flavor in that bowl.
There is. And also, just to round things out, I have 2 tablespoons of butter. Butter never hurt anything. So now all I'm doing is getting the shrimp nicely coated in that sauce and all that butter, making sure everything's finished cooking, but it's still nice and gentle. It's still over medium heat. It'll only take about a minute.
Okay.
So now I'm gonna move it over here. Make sure they don't overcook. I gotta make sure it's well seasoned for you.
Gotcha. That's really well seasoned. I mean, maybe just a smidge.
So nicely peppery.
It does not need any more pepper.
Okay, so onto the serving platter. You really want to get it out of this pan relatively quickly to keep those shrimp, again, from overcooking. One more last little bit of zhuzh. I've got some parsley for the top. So I have 2 tablespoons of chopped fresh parsley.
Oh, glorious.
I know. I feel like parsley can make anything look more beautiful, even though it's already pretty beautiful. But
I know. I sprinkle it on my husband's head every day.
great strategy. And now it's time to eat. So
All right.
I'll dish you out some.
Thank you.
Get you plenty of that sauce. I've got some crusty bread for us. It's also really good with rice.
There we go. That is beautiful.
I know, it looks so pretty. It's got that pepper, all that garlic. It's fruity and bold and spicy.
It's fruity.
Yeah, that's the white wine. And the actual piri-piri sauce is made with those piri-piri peppers that are a lot more fruity.
Right.
This is really nice. We kind of tried to get there with different ways.
And it's spicy, but it's not too hot. The shrimp are juicy, really tender. This was incredible. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're going to want to make this dish at home, and it starts with a bracing sauce. Blend pepper sauce, parsley, and garlic with olive oil, water, and bread. Sauté the aromatics, add white wine, and cook the shrimp in that liquid. Add butter and the sauce, top with more parsley, and sop up the juices with some crusty bread. So from Cook's Country, the world's best flavor-packed Shrimp Mozambique. Thanks for watching Cook's Country from America's Test Kitchen. So what'd you think?
Leave a comment and let us know which recipes you're excited to make, or just say hi.
Now you can find links to today's recipes and reviews in the video description.
And don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
See you later.
Alligator.